I'm trying to see when the Knicks open. They open tonight, baby, against Boston. Holla
Yeah.
at your boy.
NHL talk right here?
No, this is the Knicks. What you mean?
Oh, the
NHL
Knicks.
talk. What's
We
wrong with
talking
you?
about NHL. Oh, the Knicks? Oh, yeah, you care about the
Knicks
Knicks.
open against.
Feel bad for
you see,
feel bad for people like
you
you, man.
see. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I
At
just
least
feel
give them
bad.
a watch tonight. Give them a watch against Boston tonight. See what they got.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Come
I'm
on,
trying
man.
to suck you back in. All right. We got baseball going on right now. Houston up 1-0 over the Red Sox, end of the third. Who you got in that series? Just out of curiosity.
What series?
Boston and Houston. I got Houston over Boston.
Wait, what sport are you talking about here?
Baseball. Get that boss up,
Well,
brother.
I have no idea who I got there.
Yo, you don't. You're
I haven't been
Dominican. You
keeping up
should
with
have
baseball.
baseball in your blood, bro.
Nah, not watching it. Watching the Super Bowl.
What the Super Bowl? Get Super Bowl in baseball.
Super
It's the World
boring.
Series. Super
Super boring
boring.
watching it.
Super boring. Yo, don't let Dominicans hear you say that, bro.
We got two people on. Might be some Dominicans in here.
Yeah, what you just said was an abomination, like to the Dominican race, bro. That's
Okay,
serious.
Stream. Okay, I see. I'm looking at the Twitch. We live on Twitch. 1s and 2s.
All right.
We
Yeah,
got
I
3
don't
now.
understand you. I don't understand you sometimes, bro. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm hard to figure out.
Stay up on your sports game, bro. Stay up on your sports game. Especially baseball, bro. That's how you communicate to your people. That's how you communicate to your people. And baseball, who got baseball?
You know baseball's trash to watch. Right? To watch, we can all agree on that.
Yo, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
All right, let's get this show on the road. Hello and welcome to another live event.
Live and unscripted.
I'm Macho, that's Savory, and together we are Drinks with a Nobody. And you're watching us on Nobody TV. And in case you're watching or watching on replay or whenever you're watching, be sure to follow us on Twitch at MachoFix88 and at Savory_Edition. Be sure to also follow us on Twitter. Same handles, you can catch us there. And by the way, follow Savory here on his TikTok. He's got the same handle for that at Savory_Edition. His TikTok is booming right now. How's business doing,
Hmm,
Savory?
a little something, son. We moving.
It's
We moving.
booming. Business is booming. And in case you miss any of our past broadcasts, go on to YouTube, type in Drinks with a Nobody, click that, hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you never miss a thing. We got the heat. We got the heat. So, why do we want them to listen? Them, those people, speak to them. Why do we
Yo,
want
yo,
them
yo,
to
yo,
listen to
yo.
us?
Shout out to my man who said, I want, oh, that's Jeff right here. I want a steak con mucha cebolla. he know, he know I'm Dominican. Huh?
Yeah,
Anyways,
bro. He's basically calling you out publicly without
nah,
calling you out.
he's saying I don't have. He's saying he knows the real deal is there'll be steak con mucha cebolla instead of baseball. Once you got that on lock, you know,
Oh, nah. Don't spend that.
just
Don't you
saying.
dare. Don't you dare.
Yo. Back to regularly scheduled program.
Why do we
Joining us? Why are y'all joining
or
us?
why do
We
we
do.
want them to join us?
Oh, what do we want them to join us? Good question, man. I'll tell you what, man. Every single day, Monday through Friday, you know what we doing, man? We breaking down different topics, different ideas, different thoughts that are provoking, or different things that people don't want to talk about. We're doing it here, a live show, unscripted, and just having some fun with topics that people usually, I would say, shy away from. But we are out here talking about it. Might be a little bit controversial, might be a tidbit uncomfortable, but we are always going to be live,
Hey,
ready to
we're
talk.
Hispanic. It's supposed to be a bit uncomfortable. What
Ideas
what the
might
deal?
he might
Listen,
do this.
do
He might
yourself
do
a
this
favor. Yeah.
with some of our ideas. I don't like he said that.
Ay, ¿qué te pasa?
I
What's
don't like
wrong
he
with these
said that.
two?
But we're here
Listen,
though.
but do yourselves a favor. Don't watch us without a drink. Go in the fridge, grab yourself a drink, whatever kind of drink you got. I
Yo,
got coffee. Go over there,
I
get
got
yourself
agua.
some, sit back, relax, and be prepared to
Yo,
engage.
shout out
What do
to
we
all
got,
these
Stevie?
people on with us, man. Shout out to whoever's on our YouTube, bro. Go hit that subscribe. We building that. Whoever's on there, man, just we appreciate you. Yo,
Yeah.
we are
Thank
out
you.
here.
Thank you for giving us your time. All
Yo,
right. What do you got for us, Savory?
let me do a quick intro.
Yeah.
All right. We got war of political ideas. Today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some wait, we have fun every day, but we're doing a little twist today. We're gonna have some fun. We're playing all type of different videos related to politics and ideas and kind of just commenting on it and meshing together these thoughts and having fun with this. Why? Because we got to loosen up with these political ideas. Sometimes just have some fun. And on top of that, they're already stiff and controversial at times. So we're like, yo, let's throw a wrench in there and let's have some fun with this. So you're going to get a mesh of Macho's videos, which I'm not aware of all of them, FYI. He's going to get a mesh of my videos, which I'm not aware, where he's not aware of all of them either. You know, he's shouting out his shirt, by the way. I seen you though.
Clothing, Pete. Look at the sheep
Ooh,
with
good
the mask
citizen.
on his
Yo, that shirt.
eyes.
Ooh, my man got the sheep on the good citizen. Yo, that shirt's fire. Not
Shout
gonna
out to Forbidden Clothing
lie.
and the
Ooh,
cup right here, Fake
dirty
News
shout out.
Network. Fake News
Oh, yo,
Network.
you're not playing today. Boy came with the heat.
Let's do the
Yo,
heat.
nonetheless, war of political ideas, which you're about to hear all kind of different ideas, not even left and
Debates,
right. It's just
debacles.
political. We hitting the pocket today, bro.
On
We don't even know
así.
where to start, but we starting though.
Yeah, let's just go with it. Let's go with it. What do you got? You want to pull up a clip and let's just start talking shit from there?
All right, let's talk about it. I'm gonna start with this one.
All right.
I got one I'm about to pull up right now.
All right.
This one, you ready? I got to give a quick intro for this one. This is on the heels of the presidential election, where
Uh-oh. Which one?
we're talking about Trump and Biden.
Oh no, let's
Right?
go, Brandon, baby. Sleepy Joe.
Let's go, Brandon.
Sippy Cup
So,
Joe.
so this is what I got to say about this. Is a very interesting interview, right? And we got right here two people talking about, did Trump sell out? All right. What they mean by that,
Trumpian?
right?
Trumpito?
So what they mean by that is they're talking about the vaccine, the pharmaceutical, and everything he was pushing out that a lot of his supporters and other people weren't really with. So these are two people who kind of like, I would say, think differently. But the question is, did Trump sell out? So
Yo,
Look
don't
at
be
this
coming
video
at Orange
with
Man
open
like that. Don't
minds.
be coming at Orange
You
Man
know,
like
we
that,
we
bro.
we yo, we coming in hot right away. All right, you ready?
Yo,
Let's do
I'm a
this.
conservative, bro. Don't be coming at my man like that.
Yo, Macho might get offended with this one, guys. But you know, let's keep at it right here. All right, bam. We got Anomaly on the left. We got Hotep Jesus on the right. I
Oh,
hate calling him
Anomaly.
that,
I
by
heard
the way.
he's big on YouTube
Yeah, I'm
too.
gonna just call him Hotep. I don't like calling that man Hotep Jesus, but nonetheless, they both feel interesting. Right now, this is midway. It's a 2-hour debate, but they're getting into what Trump did in his last year, and is he switching up on us?
All right.
Check it.
Finish my thought. So my point is, I'm just trying to figure out, like, where, because I look at you as somebody who understands this world and how it works, right? I look at you as one of the truthers, one of the original people who understand how this world works. So when I see you do the heel turn, I'm questioning. I'm like, he can't be grifting. But did he really believe that Trump was the type of guy to die for this country? Because I never got that impression. So I'm trying to understand, why did you think he was that type of guy from the beginning?
When you call it a heel turn, I do news analysis. So when he's crushing it, I'm saying he's crushing it. When the media lies about him, I say the media is lying about it. And when he's lying about stuff and becoming a communist, socialist, lockdown medical tyrant.
All right, so Anomaly right here and him, they're talking, and they're both kind of like, they appreciated what Trump's doing, but they have voted on both ends, right? So now Hotep is saying, yo, he didn't sell out. He did what he needed to do. He was trying to get elected. Anomaly saying, yo, the man sold out. How are you going to put all these mandates? How are you going to do these lockdowns? That happened under Trump. So Anomaly saying, yo, stop making excuses. He did great in other areas, but in his last year, he was a complete sellout to his base. So this is what he's explaining right here, right?
I say that. So there is no big heel turn. It's just me doing my job and me being honest. As far as, you know, 100 million plus people, maybe in the world, hundreds of millions of people look up to him as their idol. Hundreds of millions of people looked up to him to save the country, and he sold those people out. And I told him that. As far as, you know, why you can't fathom it, I don't know. Why can't you make videos as good as I make? And why can't you?
This joint get personal now. They get tighter. But the point is,
Well, I got a bone to pick with both y'all. So you want to call him a medical tyrant, you know, with the mandates and whatnot. Let's take it back for a second. Hey, DJ, spin that back real
all
quick.
right, talk to me.
I was watching those press conference of Cuomo and Trump. So the original thing that was going on was Trump wanted to initiate certain kind of travel bans. That was the first step, first and foremost. It's obvious. You don't know what you're dealing with. You have no clue what's going on, but you know something's happening. Something's spiraling out of control. And you're expecting or hoping that the CDC or the WHO would be on their job and do what they're supposed to do. So here he goes. When he initiates the travel ban, what did the House chambers do after that? They made it
They
political.
block.
They made it political. All of a sudden, they made it political. Oh, he's xenophobic. He's this, that, and the third. Mind you, what are we dealing with here? My man's on trial because he just got impeached by the House. You got a pandemic on your heels. You got an impeachment trial you're preparing for your team. I'm not making an excuse for the guy.
Why he
But what
locked
I'm
down the
saying is
country?
he locked down the country because you had political warfare happening right before him. How do you get the country to stop doing what they're doing and recognize to say, hey, take this a bit serious? But now, what do they look at going
Wait, so
back?
he shut it down so people can pay attention to the political stuff that's going on?
He did not shut it down for that reason. He shut it down so that people could understand how serious this can be. When you're losing elderly at the rate that we were, what are you going to do? When
So
you
you think it was
make
a
it,
good decision for him to shut down the economy?
I don't, but I'm saying I understand it. I'm
Okay,
not going to call him. I'm not going to call him a tyrant for it.
all
I'm
right.
going to say, look, I understand
That's solid. What you're
because
saying?
when he came back and he said, listen, I'm only doing this for 30 days just so that we can figure out a plan of action. I may not have agreed with that, but man, that was the best course of action. Because what was the alternative?
Keep everything open.
And then what? More elderly people die?
But how? You don't say, like, I don't say what people say. Like,
What do
how?
you
They
mean
weren't out.
how? Lou, they were dying at a rapid rate.
but they're dying
You
at the
can't deny
same
that.
rate throughout this whole pandemic. It's the same thing with
Now
the
that we
vaccines now.
have the information to see, okay, where does it affect? Where does it?
But
Because
remember,
if it starts to really affect the 30-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, we have a problem. Because
yeah,
who's
but
driving
remember
this country?
when he closed the economy, it has
Biggest
adverse
mistake.
effect
I
on
agree. Yeah.
small businesses and also it was deeper than that. But I like your point. That's a good point. That's good commentary right there. Let me get back to it so we can finish this quick clip. I want you to hear this part as well. All right?
Okay.
Why can't you deep dive and do the work?
I just want to understand, why did you believe he was that type of guy from the beginning?
I mean, you guys really got to take better care.
Yo, screw ads, bro. Screw ads. Nah, we need ads for our YouTube channel. We need ads.
But it's a whole new balls game.
Because
And back
I
to
knew
play.
he wasn't. I knew that he was bailed out by the Rothschild in the 90s. I don't know how you expected this guy to be some miracle savior when I saw him as being aligned with certain people in power. I just don't know how you thought that.
I didn't though. If you
Okay.
go back to debates in 2018, I'm debating QAnon people, praying medic, Jordan Sather, and I'm telling them what you're talking about sounds like, I know you have the Bill Cooper book. I don't know where it is, but you brought it up last time. Great book. Where I'm like, you guys are wishing for what Bill Cooper said, warned about. You guys want martial law. So I was debunking that stuff in 2018. I read the comments. Yeah, pedophiles are real. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this savior martial law thing to me was always a psyop. I called it out in 2018. I was on people like Adam Green and, people who've been banned off YouTube for criticizing Trump as a Zionist. And I was on all their shows.
Operation Warp Speed.
All right, this is the part right here I wanted to end with. All right, you ready? Let's
All
get
right.
into this.
You
Yeah.
don't like Operation Warp Speed, right?
Well, no, because he's just funneling billions of dollars to these companies, and he takes.
That's my problem there. Operation Warp Speed is something he still brags about with the vaccine or all that, which is like, what are you
was
doing?
the alternative, Savory? What was the alternative?
The alternative was this. You don't shut down the economy. You keep everything open and you
Okay.
encourage people. Like he was so business driven that without him, the vaccine wasn't going to be made as fast.
He didn't want to shut down the economy.
He shut it down though.
I know he did, but what I'm saying is he
that's the
didn't
point.
want to. He didn't want to.
I really don't care what he wanted to do. I was like, he shut it down though, right?
And what was wrong with Warp Speed?
Warp Speed, you rush the vaccine that's proven to be very ineffective right now. You just rush the vaccine. You
What
use
was
your
the
business
alternative?
skills.
What was the alternative?
The alternative was take your time. You're gonna do a vaccine. You can't just like what are you gonna do? You got to take your time to get a good quality vaccine.
Absolutely not. You need a vaccine now. And if we could do it at a rapid rate, why not?
But he didn't do it. He did it at the rapid rate in a shitty way. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, sorry. Well, let's finish
Wait,
this.
no.
This is the end of this clip.
I'm curious. No.
right, go ahead.
No. What is the alternative when you have people dying? We cannot escape the reality that,
Bro,
for example,
people
I'm gonna
are
give you an
dying at
example.
the same rate today with a vaccine than they
It-
were without it.
It's that the curve is going down. You know that.
Depends
It's
on
going
what we're
down.
talking about. There's many places going up.
Yes, because of the administration of whatever they're administering medically. But places like Peru, where you had 20,000 dead a day, India was losing people at 2,000 a day because they didn't have ventilators. Look, that's a different case from the vaccine. But what I'm talking about, could the vaccine help? Is the question. Now, of course, along the way, you can work out the kinks. I don't agree with forcing me to take a pilot program vaccine. But what was the alternative? He needed to provide an option, not only to the American government, to the world.
Yeah, he did a political move because he was running for re-election. I agree, and it was a
Of
shitty
course.
move. That's all I'm saying. It was just bad.
I
It
don't
was
know.
bad. Warp Speed was horrible. All right, anyway, let me continue here. Hold up. We'll end with this, and then you'll play your video.
Past Fauci. So yeah, I think that was a betrayal for sure.
I got some tweets here I want to read.
Okay.
I just want to
They're
see.
laying low. And now there is no anti-lockdown protest because Trump set him up. So this idea that he just did enough and helped everybody a lot, I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I think he set up his own supporters and unapologetically just waddled out of office as everybody's getting, raided by the FBI.
All right.
Again, you don't have the inside information on what the FBI probes are or whatever the case may be. And he didn't waddle out of office. He's still here. He's still making noise.
Well,
So he's still being brought up on charges. He's still being. How could he leave? Where is he going?
Yeah, the point is this. All right, I'm gonna make my point right here. The whole program of Operation Warp Speed was not a success. It was only a success because you got a vaccine faster than any other person could get it. I agree that you're a businessman, you operated efficiently, you were the best negotiator, but at the end of the day, you rushed something into the market and you politicized as much as the other side did. Again, what the attacks against Trump, I agree. It was like no other president. He was getting it from every angle. But
what
again,
matters? What matters to a business person?
results.
The business, right? Results,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And what would hinder me from making these businesses? The political apparatus in this country was holding this country hostage because they did not want to move forward unless there was an alternative to go and back into the workforce. We know that.
But
We
that's
know
not
that.
true. Public debate, and it's like, no. Most businesses were okay keeping their doors open. Thousands of businesses didn't need to shut down because the president said, and now Biden is doing it to a worse extent. But
He
it started
wasn't
with
given
Trump.
pressure. He wasn't given pressure to shut down.
Who, Trump?
Yes. Was he
Oh, yeah,
not
of course.
faced
You're
with?
the president,
Okay.
though. Of course he was
Yeah.
good. You're the president, though. I don't care what pressure you got. You ran for the job. That's it comes in. That's with the territory. You got to handle that. That's all I'm saying. You got to handle that. Like, again, I believe, I'm going to say this. This president probably underwent more than any other president I've seen in my lifetime. I won't lie about that, right? With the attacks, with the media, with the court cases, with the lawsuits, with the family attacks, with the personal attacks. But what I'm saying is this. We have to call a spade a spade. Towards the end, he was thinking about re-election and not the people, right? Maybe by him doing what I said and not rushing the vaccine, he definitely would not get elected. Maybe it would have been even worse. I might admit that. I don't know. But he didn't do the right thing. That's all I'm saying. When it comes to the warp speed, you rush something for a political victory, for re-election, and all that. I just don't think he did the right thing. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. But I mean, the way I see it is, what is the alternative? You sit and wait for 2, 3, 5 years. Your
Bro,
elderly would die.
But people weren't dying like that, bro. People were dying at the rate of the flu. It was just in the media.
It was under the rate. It was under the rate of the flu.
Yeah, so what I'm
Under
saying, the
rate.
only thing was in the media, fear tactics in our hand, and he fell into that.
What was the specific reason as to why they were so afraid?
They didn't know much about it.
It was airborne. They didn't know much about it.
But that
They
was
said this
false.
could be transferred via air. That's why they're buying this whole mask mandate. Mind you, Fauci was flip flopping on masks, whether we should wear it or not.
He
Right?
was scared to fire Fauci. You know his
He
personality.
should have fired him. He should have fired him. I
If it's
agree.
not re-election year, he would have fired Fauci. I tell people.
I
But
don't
he
give a
was-
damn. It would have boosted his credibility if he would have fired
He
Fauci.
was real cautious that last year, man. He was thinking about political victories. The
Yeah.
man was cautious.
And
that's
the
all I'm
problem.
saying.
And
Again,
what you're exposing is a great point. Whenever you have a person in office, no matter what side they're on, the primary concern in their head is re-election.
especially a year off. Exactly. Yep. But
So-
let's get into another video. That was great right there. That's some COVID talk. We got another war of political ideas video. Let me see what you got, Macho. Surprise.
I got something here. Check this out. This was a big debate between Clark and Don Lemon.
Okay.
Lemon. He is a lemon. You go to the dealership, buy yourself a Corvette, you get a Don Lemon.
Okay.
Anyways, Sheriff Clark has been known even under the time where he was sheriff over there in, I believe, in Wisconsin. He was very vocal as to what he felt about BLM, and here's what's going on.
Okay, bringing the drama.
If we're both talking at the same time, what it sounds like to me is that you're accusing me of violence and supporting a narrative that I'm not necessarily in support of. And if that's what you're accusing me of violence, then you can leave. That's not true. I don't support violence of any type against police officers.
You can leave.
Against anyone. So if you're accusing me of that, then
there goes your
welcome to
lemon.
leave. But if you want to have a conversation,
he sounds like a car salesman. Oh, if you don't like this, you can leave. Or if you don't want this car, no, my transmission is leaking.
He is a guest, though. Don Lemon trying to run the show here. I feel him. He said, my rules right here.
I'm more than willing to welcome a conversation with you. I don't disagree with you about there's a narrative across the country that could be
where it
harming
gets hot.
Police officers. But we don't know right now, as someone who's in law enforcement, if that was the actual cause of it. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Do we know that generally the American law enforcement officers are racist. Do we know this?
That's
I ask you a question. Do I know?
Yo, he just talked like that.
Yo, and then he gets even more frustrated. Look at it. I want to do it again. Look.
Know this.
Go on.
I ask you a question.
Do I know American general law enforcement are
Yeah.
racist? I don't think anyone is accusing. If you're insinuating that people are accusing or saying that law enforcement across this country as a whole are racist, then your assumption is wrong.
First of all, this whole anti-police rhetoric is based on a lie. There is no data, and you know this. There is no data, there is no research that proves any of that nonsense. None. Even
You'd have to be more specific about what data and what nonsense we're talking about.
CNN's the type to copyright us.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's certain videos I don't worry about, you know. But CNN, with criticizing their video, just FYI, it's a trend out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's when it comes to copywriting is a trend. But anyways, yeah.
So we have to interject. We have to speak because if not, we're gonna get that email. So, but basically, what Sheriff Clark here is making about the anti-police rhetoric, he's relating this to the BLM movement, and he made a prediction 2 years prior, before all of this craziness was going on. This was in 2017 or 2016 or so. Or somewhere around there, where this debate happened, and he was saying that this was dangerous to our society. This was dangerous to American society. Here's some more here.
that law enforcement officers treat black males different than white males in policing in these urban centers.
There is data that supports.
There is not data.
No. The president spoke about it. Cedric Alexander, who is a law
president has
enforcement
been
officer.
lying about it. He said it again the other day.
He's talking about Obama, the president.
When
So
he
he's talking
said
about Obama.
black males are 2 times more likely to be shot by a law enforcement officer than white males. Don, that is a lie.
That is not
So-
a lie.
It is
So
a lie.
let me-
Show
let
me.
Research.
Yeah,
All right. Let me
that
say
is a lie, by the way. This has been refuted over and over and over again.
this is the thing about politics here, right? About these political ideas, right? You have a political idea that pushes something that sounds and stir you up emotionally. That sounds good, right? This is the big problem here. And you hear something and you say, "Oh, this is a tragedy," but you don't really go deep into what's really happening. You know, things like that. I
Why?
believe this is very manipulative to people.
Why should people have to dig deep when they hear it from people like Don Lemon?
Because they have a track record. You see, when somebody gives you their word, right? And they tell you something, you're like, yo, nah, this man follows through on his word, right? Think about the media as the complete opposite, right? The media has over and over has told you things that are factually false, right? If that's a word right there. It's just
On
false.
both sides, conservative
I've
and
gotten-
liberal media.
Yeah, on both sides. So I've gotten to the point that when I hear something, I say to myself, again, I don't have time to research everything. Nobody does. But something that you're interested about or that's swaying the way you vote, right? What you should do is sit there for a second and say, you know what? Let me go on a little rabbit hole here. Have some fun with this topic. Let me see if they're really saying, not every topic, but some.
I don't think consciously people develop these ideologies right away. Where you're getting at is the media. This is just one instance. It'll keep replaying other instances, other segments, other shows will replay the same thing, interview different people, talk to them, show the riots, show the statistics of police officers killing black males or how they're dealing with males in this country. They'll show that. And then all of a sudden, you know what happens in your head? This has got to be the truth.
Yeah,
This has got to be the truth. Look at all this stuff that they're putting out on us. You know, look at all that.
Indoctrination works.
Yeah.
And we are susceptible to it. Me, you, everybody.
There's no way in hell any of us has the time to sit down and read a Dr. Soul book. No way in hell anyone has the time to listen to Larry Elder's radio show every morning, or Jesse Lee Peterson's, or the Al West out in Texas. No one has the time to listen to these guys. Been screaming at the populace of the
Exactly.
majority of this country and say, listen, you got it wrong. And the way you're getting it wrong is not only manipulation, it's indoctrination. You're
Yeah.
getting certain people, you're pulling on their feeling strings.
This is why I would say this too, right? This is why the aspect of having a free press is important, right? Our country has gotten to the point that the press is controlled and manipulated by a core people,
Yep.
which you see only one idea, and even social media is getting to that point. So I tell people, look, what we're doing here is something where we're exploring these political ideas, where we're going like, yo, let's see what this is about. Let's dig a little deeper. Why?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth. It's easy right here. And before we go to our next video, is because politics is filled with lies on both sides.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
just a
yeah.
reality
And we
of
can
things,
spot it.
you know?
Me, I'm a guy who's a student of this. I keep watching the back and forth. I'll go and watch MSNBC. I'll watch CNN. I watch Fox. I watch OEN. I watch Newsmax. And I look at all of those things and I go, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Yeah. And I'm sure you get overwhelmed watching all those things. This is why we're here for, trying to
I
share
don't.
with
I
people.
actually like it. I actually like it.
Yo,
So
you know, all right, but it can be a lot for certain issues for people. But you know, we're here to share all of these things. But anyways, let's move to this next video.
let's see
I'm
what you
having
got.
fun right now. I'm gonna play a video of
Maybe we might have some
debate.
more arguments here.
I'm gonna have a video of a debate of Ben Shapiro, who's very popular now, but at the time, like, he was somewhat known. But this was in 2012. This
Yeah.
is when Obama was
I'm
president.
going to throw a lie spin in here because, you know, liberal and conservative media does. I'm going to lie about this right here. You're listening to Savory, who hates the Knicks, but is a Knicks fan, just so you guys know.
Oh yeah, that's a lot to explain. But the point is this right here.
Just keep that in mind.
We got, by the way, this is the white supremacist sign. You knew that? I didn't even mean to make that. Sorry.
Don't even.
All right. So look, right now, this is going to be a debate 2012, and they're talking about gun control, right? We're going to have a whole episode on this in the future, but this is going to be interesting. This is Piers Morgan and Ben Shapiro back in 2012. Let's get to it.
With guns.
Well, they want to take away certain types of guns,
They
obviously.
want to take away assault weapons, which are capable with magazines like we saw at Aurora and Sandy Hook of unleashing a ridiculous amount of bullets.
Well, this is
in
a
very
question I
short
wanted to
period of
ask you,
time.
Piers, because I've seen you talk about assault weapons a lot, and I've seen Mark Kelly talk about assault weapons. The vast majority of murders in this country that are committed with guns are not committed with assault weapons; they're committed with handguns.
Okay,
so, are you willing to ban handguns in this country across the
No,
country?
that's not what I'm asking for.
Why not?
Let me ask you.
Don't you care about the kids who are?
He said that's not what I'm asking, though.
Mind you, Piers Morgan changed. When did this video air? Just curious.
It's 2012, I think. Yeah.
Because he changed his whole view on this. They had a recent debate on the Daily
Oh,
Wire.
really?
Yeah, he changed his whole view. He believes that America should now remove all guns. Piers Morgan. Yeah, he's changed his whole outlook on it. Now Ben Shapiro's arguing from a different point of view now. It's crazy.
So take a look at this. Ben Shapiro always said that what these people in the media want to do, especially Piers Morgan, he will be really critical, is they want to ban all guns. Don't be fooled by this. This is just political talk. This is just a political idea they gave you. But at the end of the day, they want to ban all guns, right?
Yo,
so
what
right
you got
now,
an alarm for? What you got an alarm for?
So right now he's pushing him into saying that, but he won't really admit it.
Got you.
Right?
being killed in Chicago as much as the kids in Sandy Hook?
Yes, I do.
Then why don't you care about banning the handguns in Chicago?
Replay that. Replay that real quick.
You see that?
Replay that.
You see
Replay that. The Chicago's. I want to hear that again.
You see that?
Wow. Let me
Let's
hear
take
that
it back.
again.
Ask you.
Don't you care about the kids who are being killed in Chicago as much as the kids in Sandy Hook?
Yes, I do.
You see, why don't we talk about the gun violence in Chicago the same way we talk about the mass shootings, right?
You know why we talk about the mass shootings? Because it's usually a white male that's shooting up a whole bunch of people.
Yep.
Rather than talking about Chicago, where 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds are killing each other with guns.
And on top of that, right, in these mass shootings, we have a specific area you can focus on, which is a certain type of gun, which they use the term assault weapons, right? But if you talk about handguns, you're not only condemning the Chicago shootings, you're condemning every citizen who owns a handgun, which is most of the population. Do you see? These are political ideas that we have to dig deeper into and check where they go right here.
Then why don't you care about banning the handguns in Chicago?
We'll come to that. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
We'll come to that.
Here's a deviator.
Well,
We
he
got a
wants to ban it
deviator.
now. You say he wants to ban it now, right? He didn't want to answer there. Interesting. All right.
What was the weapon used at Aurora in the movie theater?
It was an assault rifle, sure.
Okay. What was the weapon used in the Oregon shopping mall?
I believe it was an assault rifle, correct?
Okay. What was the weapon used at Sandy Hook?
It was an assault rifle.
What was the weapon used at the incident around Christmas?
Why are those the only shootings you care about right now? Again, those are bad.
There's a
We need to do
handful.
something.
There's a handful compared to what happens with the handguns.
And let me tell people this, right? We need to find a way to mitigate this. But a lot of these crimes, what's proven time and time again is that
Mitigate
gun
what?
laws, huh?
Mitigate what?
Mitigate these kind of shootings, the mass shootings, right? But the way we do that is not as straightforward as people think. Why?
How in the world do we mitigate mass shootings?
Well, this is the goal. It's the political goal. I'm just giving you the political idea they do. Let me finish this political idea I'm saying. So they want to get rid of that, right? They want to make sure that this doesn't happen. And what I'm saying is this. This is what I'm saying. When you talk about these shootings, all right, you talk about it in one lens, which is banning guns. Right? And you ignore that these people, no matter how many gun laws you pass, right? Most of these people,
New York, Chicago,
but no
all
matter
these
how
gun laws.
many gun laws you pass, they find a way around it. You think these people are following laws? They don't care about laws. Laws are
Criminals
not gonna
don't
change.
care about the law. They break the law for a living.
Yeah. This is all right. Anyway, sorry.
When the firemen were lured to their deaths, the New York State firemen.
And bought illegally. That was it. That was an assault rifle.
Right, so the last 4 mass shootings in America were all the assault rifles.
And the vast
that is the
majority.
reason,
Well-
Mr. Shapiro. And you can smirk at me, and you can laugh at
I'm
me,
not smirking.
and you can accuse me of.
He is smirking, by the way, but it's funny.
The media wanted to only cover the mass shootings of assault rifles, but they never want to cover the shootings that happens with handguns, the shootings that happens in general. Now, my question to you here is, I think we got a good clip here, unless you want to show more. You want to show more?
No, keep going. Get your question in.
My point is how do we mitigate this? That is a perfect. I know we want to talk about this as an episode and as a standalone, but I'm curious since you said it.
Yeah.
How do you mitigate the mass shootings?
You supply more guns. So this is my strategy.
Oh man, how simple and how easy that is. That is so easy.
I'm gonna give you my breakdown. How do we mitigate this? How do we stop this from happening? Right? I don't think we can completely eliminate it. There's still crazy people out there. But how do you? Right? Look what you do. You train more people, and you make it a requirement through school that they learn about the Second Amendment. Right? There's a few things that don't get covered on the news. Number one, when a business owner pulls out a gun on a robber and the robber runs, there's no reason to call the cop. That robber's done. Sometimes you call it for a report, but it's not news. Number one, when somebody breaks into your house and the owner fires a gunshot, you know what happens? The media ignores it. But what happened? His gun saved his life without him having to kill anyone. Just a simple fact of you hearing my gun at home, the robbers usually run away. People don't know that, which is why the robber or the killer or the criminal, whatever you want to call them, in a state where gun laws are strict, he knows he's the only one with guns. But if you in a city or county where you know everybody got guns, you're gonna think twice about breaking into homes, about robbing. So I believe everybody should be trained, and we should do the opposite. We should continue to circulate more guns with a well-trained citizenship.
Yes, I agree. So giving people more of an easy lane to get guns would actually be productive. It'll counter what you see. You see someone with an assault rifle shooting at kids, and I'm already strapped. The intuition is I'm gonna grab my damn gun. I'm gonna shoot that damn boy because what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You
Now,
think twice.
does it look good? No, and this is why when it hits TV, it doesn't look and it doesn't sound good. But if you have the Second Amendment, and we have it for a reason, what's that reason? That reason is to prevent the government from tyranny. That's why. So we're not getting rid of guns, period.
What do you say
Period.
to people who say this, right? What do you say to people who say, What if the government decides to throw bombs? How are your guns going to help? What's the answer to that?
If your government what?
What if your government just decides to bomb us? Because they got bigger weapons than us. So they got tanks. And what did they pull up with? Tanks and bombs.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. They do not have bigger weapons than us. And let me tell you why. The very people that are in their military have families in these states, have children in these states.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that they're gonna press the button on a bomb? No, it's not happening.
In a certain sector, but let's say they want to do it in a certain area of the city where they know there's no family there to strategically bomb it.
I refuse to believe any military person is going to be willing to bomb their own country. Period. Because if we open that door, around the world, maybe I don't know, but I don't know. To be honest with you, you got me there. But what I'm saying is if we open the door to that, then we're justifying the whole bullshit of 9/11 that the government planned that.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. No way. No way.
Yeah. So also, this is my thoughts.
Irrational.
This is what I tell people with that. I say, yeah, let them bomb us. But if 300 million people got guns, you just started a war, and you're not going to wipe out every citizen.
You're not going to win.
You're not going to win, and you're not going to roll around with tanks. You can do it in a certain area, but again, I say, if you want to bomb my neighborhood, yeah, I'd rather have a gun than no guns. I'd rather go out there and have a fighting chance. So a gun doesn't guarantee that you'll live.
No.
It just gives people a fighting chance. Right?
Facts.
That's why you're right. It's not like you're like, oh, I'm going to live for sure. No, you might die. A ton of people die with guns.
When you take away guns, think of the women who have been sexually assaulted by men. Men are bigger and stronger than women. When you think about taking away guns, think about what it does to women. Women don't have a fighting chance anymore. By them having a gun, and this is why I believe women who have been previously sexually assaulted should go right now and get a damn gun. Don't get pepper spray. Don't get a damn gun. No, get a damn gun, because that girl needs to get her control back and she needs her power back. And what better way to do it? By getting a freaking firearm.
The great equalizer.
Facts.
Let's see what you got next, man. Talk to us.
Here we have here's another idea. Here's another idea of war on political ideas, and that is the idea of reparations. Reparations.
I like this topic. Okay.
And what does that mean? That the people, primarily blacks in this country, deserve reparations for their ancestors being enslaved. And that just now, first off, this is not a modernized debate. This debate has been going on since 50s, maybe 60s in the collegiate areas. Like, a lot of the professors and the intelligentsia were talking about this. We're saying, do black people deserve reparations? But we're not going into the history of that. But here we have Kim Klacik going up against Richard Fowler of Fox News. And here's what he had. Here's how that went down. Let's check that out.
America, the reason that we have racial disparities today, or is it coming from something else?
Well, I definitely think that slavery is the reason why we have racial disparities today. And I think it's really important for us to look back at history, Martha, and see what we can learn. And here's what we do know. In 1988, Ronald Reagan passed a law allocating $1.6 billion to Japanese Americans in reparations because they were in internment camps during World War II. That was for one war, right?
That's a fact.
That's interesting. Okay.
That's a fact.
That wasn't for 200 years of slavery. That wasn't for Jim Crow. That was just for one war. What H.R. 40 does it doesn't cut checks to black Americans. What it says is, let's study the ideal of reparations. Let's study the economic impact of enslavement. Does it have precursors? Does it have impact in today's society? And what are the economic outcomes of that? And what should we do about it as a nation? And I don't understand why we can't pull up the rug and actually have a conversation and do a study about the impact of enslavement.
I don't know about you, but when I hear that an administration is going to do a study,
And just a heads up here for you folks, Richard Fowler works for Fox News as a contributor.
So who's arguing? Is he arguing for or against reparations?
He's for reparations. Okay, if there's any confusion there, yeah. And that the study and to decide if the country should go in that direction. Now, Kim Kalasick here, who was a candidate running for the, I think, mayor
Baltimore.
of Baltimore.
Yeah,
She lost to I forgot the guy's name, but he's been there for years.
yeah, the incumbent.
Here's her response to reparations.
To me, that's like, okay, well, we'll talk about it later. It's because it's just sort of an appeasement move to say we're going to do a study. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this will actually lead to something, but that seems to be where it is right now. Kimberly, the same question to you. Are the racial issues that we have in this country, do they go back to slavery, or is it something else?
I actually like that question. That was actually a great question. I don't know if you guys
does it go back
noticed
to
that.
slavery, or does it go back to something else? Right? That's
Yeah.
what you like. Yeah,
Is there something tangible? Is there a place that we can say reparations started here or should start here?
Yeah.
That is more evident or more the reason for what we see today?
Well, I agree with Richard. You have to look at history here. I mean, let's be honest. Slavery happened across the world, and it was tragic, but we have to look at what happened after the fact. First, you have to determine first who pays for what, right? Out of 13 states that joined the Confederacy, you had 28% of Black Americans.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure we pause it too, but I wanted to say this. It's interesting. That's my biggest critique, right? I'm gonna take this opportunity to say this is I'm kind of totally not against reparations, but it's just way too complicated, especially if you're trying to trace it back to slavery. So I don't think it would work well that way. We need to trace
I'm never for reparations.
Yeah.
Being here as a citizen is your reparation.
Yeah, no, and right now, this is why it's tricky, but reparations, I believe two things. We're too far removed from slavery, and there's no evidence that slavery is enslaving us now or affecting us.
Hold on. This is what happens when we think from today. Think about it then. You've been enslaved and you've been considered a piece of property. Okay?
Yeah.
And the day that Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and you are now considered a free slave, and your slave owner says, you are free. You're no longer my property. Right? Do you think in the minds of a previously piece of property is going to sit there and go, okay, you owe me? Or are they going to enjoy their freaking freedom, bro?
Yeah, they're going to enjoy their freedom. I agree with you.
Oh, they are out. They out. I'm free.
And the people asking it are so far removed, generations away from slavery, so it's
they weren't thinking about reparations then.
Yeah.
The reparations was, I get to be free. I get to build my own house. I get to live my own life. I'm my own man, and I get to negotiate and bargain with my previous slave owner.
And let me say this. I would also say this, and then you can play it after this. I also believe it's a little easier and a little more tangible to argue reparations because of Jim Crow rather than slavery. I'll leave it there. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But was Jim Crow a one-sided affair? Was Jim Crow really a one-sided affair? There is a interview between a Georgian governor and the former boxer Joe Louis, who actually both agreed with segregation. So we cannot talk from the mindset of today.
Which is interesting. Plus, Jim Crow. That's what I'm saying. It's a little easier to argue. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but a lot of Black businesses, they build their own community and they strive more than they are today, the Black community. So it's interesting. But anyways, go ahead. Let's play this.
And she said the perfect question. She said, who pays for what?
Yeah.
Slavery happened all around the world. Who pays for what?
Americans in those states that actually owned Black people as well. They were slave owners. Then you had the Cherokee Indians and other Indian tribes that were slave owners. Then you had the Cherokee. You had 28% of Black Americans in those states that actually owned Black people as well. They were slave owners. Then you had the Cherokee Indians and other Indian tribes that also owned Black people. And so when you look at the numbers today,
she's right now reciting Tom Sowell 101 here.
Yeah, that's
basically what she's saying is, what people don't realize, a third of the Confederate Army, when they were fighting against the North, people don't want to admit this, but Black people were fighting against the North, and they weren't enslaved. They were slave owners. They were fighting to protect and preserve the way they wanted to live their life down there. But no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to bring that up.
today, you only find 5% of white people that are generationally connected to slavery. So are you asking that 5% to take on that burden? And then secondly, you have to prove the fact that slavery is the reason that some Black people are struggling today and others are not. Like Richard and myself, we don't live below the poverty.
Wow.
That's my point right there. By the way, there's more money circulating in the Black community that if you add up their GDP, if they were to be a country, they'll be the 13th largest country, wealthiest country, not largest, wealthiest country, which means there's a lot of money circulating the Black community now, right? So it's an issue. And this is another thing is why I understand the sentiment of reparations. I just believe it's not doable. And it just doesn't make sense for a variety of reasons because, you know, it's too much entanglements when you're taking it back to slavery.
Entanglement?
You know? But yeah, that's good.
I couldn't resist, bro.
No, that's actually a really, really good video, man. But,
all right. So what do you got? Another idea. What's another idea?
All right, what are we doing today? War of political ideas. So this is an interesting one here. We're talking about Trump when he said grabbed him in the campaign trail.
Locker room talk?
Yeah, we got the locker room talk against a former president and his actions. So we kind of get to see like two point of view here. So I think this will be interesting to put on. All right,
let's see what we got.
Activities as forced sexual intercourse, forcible sodomy, child molestation, incest, fondling, and attempted rape. And fondling is clear. If you're grabbing people, I'm not going to say it. If you're grabbing people in their private areas, that is fondling. That is.
So she's arguing if Trump did that, that's fondling. That is, you know, so.
Sexual assault.
Right. He's done none of those things, Angela.
He
and
has. If you listen to the victims,
it's
listen to the
so
victims.
ironic. The selective.
Clinton's
victims. Clinton's
no,
victims.
No,
exactly.
I'm sorry.
And
Bill Clinton's not running for office.
The selective.
Bill Clinton's not running for office, so it didn't.
So that's the excuse.
But this
You're
happened
talking about
while he was in office. I don't get why people use that argument. We were talking
he was
about
in
while he
office.
was
My man had somebody under the desk.
Yeah, believed to be more than one.
Here's the thing. She's taking what he said literally. Grabbing her by the pussy was an analogy. It was like a thought process of like we have to smack him in the mouth. We have to knock their teeth out. It was like it's a reference. I forget the analogy of how you compare that. He's not literally saying, "Yo, let's grab that woman by the pussy." Yeah. It's like let's grab that man by the balls.
Yeah, it's like a metaphor. You're saying
a metaphor. Yeah. She's taking it literal. Listen, die down your emotions, girl. If you want to compete with men. Be prepared to compete with men, bro.
This guy not playing today. All right, so now they're gonna go into the Clinton and she's giving the other side, right? That was press secretary for Trump, by the way.
That's Kayla McEnany.
But the left is okay with Hillary Clinton, who put private investigators on people who had viable sexual assault claims.
Kaylee,
it's selective outrage. And you know what?
Not.
People see through it because that same NBC poll that was taken before the debate, before the apology, guess what it shows? 60%.
Kaylee.
You do not think that this video is disqualifying or have no opinion of it.
That's
the question is, let's be real right here. Do you think most people actually thought that video was disqualifying? At that point in the race, they were just trying to smear him. Again, I'm not justifying or thinking that's okay, but at the end of the day, he said it was locker room.
What's there to justify?
It's like, no, exactly. It's like,
what's there to justify? Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here? Like,
has the man ever been accused? Has he ever been accused of sexually assaulting a woman?
Well, a whole bunch of them came out.
That he had sex with them.
And some random claim.
We know that man was a player. We all knew that.
Yeah.
So
that was no secret, right?
Yeah. You were born under a rock, man. My man had a different shorty on his arms every other week.
My man said, if being a player doesn't disqualify me from being president, I'm all right.
Look at Clinton.
Oh, snap. Nah, but people got to understand, Clinton did it while he was in office. That's a different ballgame.
So did Kennedy.
You can say that's a different ballgame. Anyways, let me play this last clip. I want to forward it right here. And then
I know that you all have a road that you have to stay on, but it's also not honest.
We don't have to stay on it.
Well, you're staying on it. The fact of the matter is Bill Clinton is not running for president
But
of
the
these
person
United
who
States.
protected him and allowed him and facilitated
but
it matters
I'm not going to let you all continue to say that
Yeah.
she allowed him.
She
to,
facilitated
wait,
it.
no, she didn't.
And
She,
no.
what? How did she facilitate
When
it?
asked about
Was she?
Getting spicy.
She got emotional.
Yeah,
See?
spicy.
You can't dance with men. You can't dance with wolves.
Because it's not that.
She-
You can't
So-
dance with wolves because you get all emotional. You get crazy.
She
You know
couldn't.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is different right here. But what is this political idea, right? This political idea to me is, all right, we have opposing views on what's considered acceptable and also the way the media frames acceptability.
Yeah,
right?
what's
Because-
appropriate,
Yeah,
how
what's
a president
appropriate,
should be
all that.
speaking, how a
Mhm.
president should conduct himself, yada, 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 yada. Is there presidential etiquette, right?
Yeah.
Is there presidential etiquette? Is there a specific standard how a president's supposed to conduct himself?
Trump proved that no, but again,
Yeah.
it's-
And so did Obama.
and Obama too. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he was
smacked.
over here. He was
the
dropping the
golden boy.
mic. He had Jay-Z up in the White House. Look, was that presidential etiquette? If we argue
Some will
in
argue it's
debate,
not. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, because you had an ex-drug dealer in your freaking in the White House. Look, I'm and not only was he an ex-drug dealer, my man was parading it all in his music, how he got rich
Yeah.
with that. So, all right, so now here we go. We got
What you got for us?
we got a big one here, and this one is about CRT. I had Candace Owens and Cornel West, but I'd rather go right to the Ben Shapiro one that I have queued up here. And basically, this is about the idea of CRT. CRT is making real big headwaves now. It's in the public eye now, but I'll make no mistake, folks. CRT has been around for a very long time. Tom Sowell has debated CRT for years, and again, no one wanted to listen. No one's listening to him. I listen. I know I reference a lot to Tom Sowell, but Lewis and I spoke about this. What is one of the criticisms that you say about reading his books?
They're incredibly boring.
Yeah, because they're more based on stats.
Yeah.
They're more based on
Too much
like,
facts for the mind is what
Yeah.
I think.
yeah. He's just hitting you with facts and facts and facts, and he doesn't.
He's good to listen to. Not
Yes.
too good to for me, but yeah.
Well,
But
no
go ahead.
one be willing to debate him. No one.
Oh, not for sure. He's
To
a
this day.
heavyweight.
My man's
He's a
90
heavyweight.
some years old, and ain't nobody gonna debate him. So here's
Full
Ben
screen.
Shapiro, and this is Ben Shapiro and Malcolm Nance on the idea of critical race theory on the Bill Maher show. So let's check that out.
And I appreciate you being honest in defining of what it's like to be Black American, right? That is, I mean, we're talking about a system.
That's unfair.
Well,
You're saying we
no,
can't-
I'm just saying I agree with all of those suppositions because they are grounded in truth. Look, and the funny thing is, it's not just African Americans, right? It's also the Scalp Act of 1749, where for 300 modern dollars, you had to cut off the head or the hair of an Indian to prove that you got them out of the way so they could settle. That's a little bit of American history that people should know about. The Chinese Exclusion Acts of the 1840s. These are things we don't talk about.
That's not, I mean, first of all, that's not. It's not true that people don't talk about these things. We all did learn about.
You don't want them talked about?
No, that's not true either.
You want
That's
to
not-
cancel
No,
them?
Malcolm, I'm sorry, you're lying.
that's not
lying.
true.
That's just
not lying.
it is lying. I not
it's
only
not
have
tr-
I've personally
I
talked
agree.
about many of the things that you just mentioned. I define critical race theory by citing the actual authors of critical race theory, and you seem to be a pretty good beneficiary of the meritocracy because you have merit, Malcolm. So if you're going to criticize the meritocracy as an outgrowth of white supremacy, then you're going to have to tear down the system that you've succeeded in because you have merit or do not have merit.
So basically, he's saying
yeah.
you talking shit about an environment that you live in. Mind you, you've benefited from it, Malcolm. You're making millions, Malcolm.
In major ways, bro. Like
You're making
you're getting
millions.
paid not you're an elite in the system that you want to tear down or ask for reparations. This is why a lot of this is filled with BS, because a lot of these people are manipulating people to think a certain way, right? So once they think a certain way, all right, what they do is it's like the people promoting climate change with 10 houses at the shore. How you promote climate change? You tell people the world's gonna end in 10 years, but you have 10 houses in the shore and you're living your best life. You see? That's
Beautiful
hypocrisy at
houses.
its highest
Yeah.
level. Come on, bro. Come on. Come on, man.
My great-great-grandfather ran away from slavery to join the 111th U.S. Colored Troops and
Here we go.
fight against the South.
This is the emotional card they always pull on white people. This is the emotional card. Look, if you want to dance with wolves, women and blacks and Hispanics, you want to dance with the wolves, be a fucking wolf.
Intellectual.
It's not that freaking hard.
I'm being so emotional, guys.
Yo, just sit there and go, okay, I hear you. But what about this? And
This
throw
is,
your
you know what he's
jabs.
doing
It's
right now?
okay.
When you play this clip, I want everybody to realize what he's doing. This is called, if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon, this is the card of white guilt he's gonna pull out right now. I summon white guilt. Go.
Yo,
He's gonna
Shelby
summon it right
Steele
now.
wrote a book. Shelby Steele wrote a book exactly on that card called White Guilt. Just so y'all know.
Bam.
Human beings as slaves. He didn't think, you know what? In 150 years, my great-great-grandson's going to have to sit on stage and argue with a guy who thinks all that's bullshit. All right?
Hold on. That's the oppression? Oh my God. My feelings are hurt on stage or a guy who's accusing me of not
White
having,
Jewish
bro,
man. A white Jewish man.
Bro, that's your biggest critique on the economy. Your ancestors will be proud of you right now, bro. Are you
How can you talk about the atrocities done to you without acknowledging the atrocities done to Ben Shapiro's ancestry?
Yeah, bro, this
The major atrocities that Adolf Hitler did to the Jewish people. Are you freaking kidding me? And this is why it's like, yo, dude, remember who you talking to. And this is why Bill Maher had to play referee here, because he's like, that's not fair. That's not fair.
This is where he
Malcolm.
comes in right here. Weaponizing oppression is what I call this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm just saying, there is no controversy. The controversy that's made up is people saying that this is being discussed, this is being taught in schools, and that kids should be kept away from it.
That's not true.
It's not even a real controversy.
Malcolm, the fifth largest school district in America, Clark County, just decided that they were going to lower standards with regard to testing because they wanted to alleviate disparities in outcomes. That is an outgrowth of critical race theory.
Can you draw a straight line to it?
Yes, 100%. Because when you say that the meritocracy is an outgrowth of white supremacy, and then you suggest that I'm somehow denying that slavery took place or that your great-great-great-grandfather was a hero because I'm saying that I want people tested when they are in school to see if they are good at school, then what you're purporting to push now is just nonsense. And
Too much common sense. Too much common sense. Too much common sense.
That's the problem.
Too much
That's
common
the
sense.
problem. And here's the thing: Bill Maher comes in. We don't have to see this. If you guys want, watch this interview, this show.
Go
Bill
check that
Maher,
out for
Malcolm
sure.
Nance,
These are
and
all
Ben
good
Shapiro.
tips.
What the point of the matter is, Bill Maher comes in and says, "Look, I'm not all the way for the critical race theory thing, but we have to acknowledge the facts." And Bill Maher goes on and starts reading these facts on the disparities between white neighborhoods and blacks, or how blacks are treated in this country. And again, Bill Maher, you are absolutely wrong. Anyone watching this, go look at that and look at those facts. And it would be refuted time and time again. And I'm not talking about looking at the first couple of headings on Google. I'm talking about look deeper, folks.
Yeah.
Black communities get more money because they're black.
We got to get an episode where we go through the history from the last few decades of the funding, the opportunities. and all that.
HBCUs are being funded at an insanely rate. Where do you hear white colleges? First of all, I didn't know we have to think this way. White colleges. There's no historically white college. They're just a lot of colleges that have the majority in those damn colleges. Okay. What I'm getting at here is, where do we see white colleges getting these kinds of funding from the government or getting these kind of vote sways? Nowhere.
Mhm.
So the black community is getting a lot of attention despite being the minority.
Facts.
So the whole idea of critical race theory falls flat on its face. And this has been a political talking point for the last, 20-something years?
Yeah. Every time elections come around, these are the.
They always bring, what are you going to do for the black community? And Trump didn't cave in at all. He said, what do you got to lose?
Yeah,
What
this is
do you
great.
have to lose? Anyone willing to answer that question today? What do you have to lose? I will always vote a conservative, not because of where they are and who they are. is because they stand for a certain set of value system. Conservatives know
You would
that if
always
I
vote conservative. That's interesting, but that's a
for
whole
the
different
most part,
episode.
I will always vote conservative. I may not always agree with them, but their value system is drastically different than the liberal, for sure. Because the liberal believes taxes covers a multitude of revenue. When it's businesses that cover the revenue, right?
Yeah.
The government, first off, here's another thing I want to throw in here as a snippet. Should the government be involved in our finances? No.
Ooh, that's a whole episode. Now, don't answer it. Hold up.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
I'm just saying. So again, this last one we just played here, the constant talking point of blacks and how they're treated. Listen, we need to step our A games. Blacks and Hispanics need to step our A games. Live like how we want to be treated. Stop with the whole nonsense of how you think they're looking at you. Go by what they're giving you, and don't make that instance a generalization for the entire country. Oh, I was called a nigger in Pennsylvania. So I heard worse from my own peers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it's hard. I would say this: it is hard for people to separate how they feel in connection to how they act towards an issue, right? Which is why they manipulate you emotionally, right? It's the reason they manipulate us emotionally, right? But we have to realize that we have to think long term, right? And I vote with this mindset, right? I'll do this right here as my thought on this, right? This is my mindset voting. I never vote a candidate who's gonna solve my problems. That's just not the way I vote. I don't vote like that. You should vote the candidate.
You're conservative already. You're conservative already.
This is how I vote. I vote for the candidate who's really just has the values and systems in place through his talks or policies that say, you know what, this guy's not going to bother me too much. That's really how I vote, right? Unless there's a pressing issue that needs to be changed and he's not speaking about it, whatever. There's nuances to it, but the point is, this whole episode was on what? War of political ideas. We just showed random clips that all had an intertwined connection that had to do with political ideas. And when you don't dig deeper, it's easy to be convinced by a lie. It's easy to believe something that doesn't hold. So we hope to continue doing this. We definitely are showing different videos, clips, and continuing to go back and forth. So it definitely was a pleasure being here. If it's up to us, we'll go live for hours, but we're definitely going to be here Monday through Friday. And we're going to continue to go live, man. We got some of our followers out here. Shout out to Twitch. Y'all been faithful with us. Follow both of us on Twitch. We got Macho Fix 88 Savory Edition. We got the same usernames on Twitter. Go follow us there. We try to be active there as well. And then most importantly for us, all right, not for no particular agenda reasons, just we want to grow the audience in order to let people come back and say, yo, let's talk about this. We hope in the future to have the audience even dictate what we talk about, you know?
Not for us only. It's not purely selfish. It's for you guys, because what we want is a honest network, an honest place where people are talking about things. Look, I don't stand for a person. I stand for values. And if we can make set arguments and debates, we can possibly pick better leaders in our country. But we need unadulterated conversations. We need to work through the mud. We need to work through all the mess and put our emotions aside and use our heads.
Facts. And you'll get that with us. Why? Because we here just honestly talking. We unscripted. We live. And you saw when we disagreed on certain things, we just roll with it, because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. So come join us. Subscribe to our YouTube. Leave comments. Send us a message if you want. Give us ideas, because we are out here. Thank you for joining us.
And remember, on Drinks with a Nobody, there are no last calls. So let's keep the conversation engaged. Even though this show is ending, let's keep it going. See y'all tomorrow at 6 p.m.